That is the new e-3008 from Peugeot, but it comes with 325 horsepower because it has 2 electric motors. But it also has just over 300 miles of claimed range. So in this video, I'm going to figure out whether this high-performance electric SUV is in fact the small family car to go for if you like to have fun, or whether that power has come at a compromise. Let me just give you one clue. There's a real surprise to come.
And it's something especially beneficial for British drivers, which sort of helps to counter the slight negative that even this hottest of E3008s is still some way off offering the performance of the top spec Tesla Model Y and Kia EV6. But before I reveal what the Peugeot's key advantage is, here are some of the car's details.
Now this car, it will be very popular for company car buyers, potentially because of the CO2 being zero, so it means it's going to be pretty cheap. So what's the design changes on this car? Well, it looks fundamentally the same as the entry-level 210 horsepower car, which is no bad thing. I think it's a smart looking car here, and I think it's a smart looking car here as well. I like the coupe roofline with the very aggressive rear there. I think it works. Now, the cabin of this e-3008 325 is identical to the other models. In fact, it's got, in this car, the launch edition spec, which means you get all the bits you get on the top of the range GT, plus a little bit more. Tech looks great. The only negative is, if I lean forward, because I'm sat in the back seat right now, you do have to press this in order to access your climate control. It's all up there. I'd much rather if it was down as buttons down here, but that's the same for all of these cars from Peugeot. They look impressive technically, but of course the interaction is a little bit slower because of that. Now, space in the back of the e-3008 with the 325 horsepower setup is the same as the other e-3008s. No surprise there. Batteries are in the floor of this car, so it is a little bit higher for rear seat passengers, but there's still plenty of legroom, loads of headroom as well. Even though the panoramic sunroof doesn't come all the way back here, you get that, by the way, on the launch model as standard, which is not true if you go for the normally top of the range GTs. Fit and finish is nice in here. You haven't got tons in the way of creature comforts, but it's perfectly okay. And when I open up the electric tailgate, because of course on the launch edition you get all the bits, you will also see that the boot space on top is very good. Nice, a good amount of room here. It's a flat floor loading here, so it's going to be good for heavy items. But of course, because we've got the rear motor in this car, it does eat into boot space. So there's enough for your charge cables, as you can see, and some of the safety gear, but you'd have to remove the items from inside. So really, you're going to use the top half and just hide the cables away, which is okay.
Of course, for those who want more boot space, Peugeot also makes the longer E5008 in identical 325 horsepower form, offering more space and 2 extra seats in the boot with the same dual motor and 73 kilowatt-hour battery setup as the 325 E3008, which we're driving first.
Now, you probably heard me use the word okay quite a lot, but there is an area where this car potentially feels quite different from its rivals, and that's, well, obviously to do with power, because with 325 horsepower, it's quite quick. But first, I want to talk you through the handling, because it is something Peugeot has focused a lot on. And look, we're on a stunning German road that has amazing corners, and I can tell you, going through the corners, it has grip, it will go around the bends, it puts the power down on the exit, but at the same time, it's not a sports car. So if you like driving smoothly but relatively quickly, this car will be fine for you. If you're looking for an exciting thrill in the SUV world, then this probably isn't the one for you. But it does cruise smoothly on the motorway, and we have seen, in fact I can press this button on here, and we have seen that it is pretty efficient.
Actually, we saw efficiency as high as 12.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, or 5 miles per kilowatt hour if you're in the UK, which equates to a projected range of 365 miles, massively beating the claimed 304-mile range for this car. Admittedly, that was during a stint of driving with lots of downhill sections where the dual motor's very effective regen tech allows for one-pedal driving. That said, during a motorway stint, we saw 3 miles per kilowatt hour on the dash, meaning a real-world range of 219 miles. That's not bad, but it's clear that for full-time motorway drivers, the less powerful but bigger batteried E3008 long range will be the better choice, with its over 100 miles of extra claimed range.
Also, another thing to note is that the regen is adjustable on the paddles, which means if I come into a sharp corner like this, yes, I need to brake, but I can also keep the regen at its maximum, which I've done there. And then if I want to power out and roll down the hill, I can reduce the regen with this switch here, and then the car will roll a lot better. So that's a nice feature. Visibility is great. Door mirrors are massive. You can see easily through the rear window. And even though it's a big car, do you know what? It's easy to position it. If there's one complaint, it's the one I always have with Peugeots, and it's this tiny wheel. I love the small wheel, but it doesn't position perfectly with the infotainment system for me, so I've got it a little lower than I wanted. But I'd just say try before you buy with one of these. If you get comfortable in it straight away, then it's of no concern at all.
And to be fair, if you're shorter than my 5'11" in height, the smaller wheel will probably be much easier to get comfortable with, and it does make this punchy car feel even quicker to react.
But speed is just one slightly surprising part of this car. In fact, there's a much bigger surprise, and it's the one I called out at the start, and that is ride. Because I got into this car seeing 20-inch alloy wheels, the big heavy weight of an EV, and knowledge that this is obviously a sportier variant than the other ones in the lineup. And I thought, this is gonna rattle my teeth out of my jaw. But not only is it more comfortable than I expected, dare I say it, it's one of the most comfortable cars in this class overall. I think the Citroens, obviously many of them share parts with these cars, I think they are tuned for extra comfort. But this, honestly, has such a brilliant blend of comfort, but also road holding as well. I mean, yeah, it does roll around a little bit. If I tip it in there, it's leaning a bit, but it's nothing excessive. And yet, over the worst of bumps, this absolutely smooths them out. It continues to impress me no matter what we drive into.
Quick update now, this is the e-3008, which comes with 7 seats, but yet you still have enough space to hide away your charge cables, which is key. And we've been driving it up the same mountain passes, and I can confirm it drives exactly the same, which is a good thing. It handles great, and it still rides brilliantly. The reason you'd want to buy one of these or the smaller car over other models is definitely comfort. Didn't expect to say that. So that's why both 325 horsepower versions of Peugeot's dual motor family car have really surprised me. They blend performance and comfort and pack just about enough efficiency to remain usable as full-time company cars. That said, if your powerful SUV shopping list also includes hybrids, Renault makes the world's first super hybrid in the Rafale plug-in, which we reviewed here.